very quickly. So it's about
Okay.
leading creative confidence for global and going global. Okay, so like it's like launching a new business. So this is principles for leading innovation. Small wins because they count. Superstars aren't lone geniuses. Blend expert and novices. Build stable and small team wisdom. Learn how and when to fight. Innovation requires extreme optimism. Bad is stronger than good. Cut their back. The best management is sometimes no management at all. Avoid the smart talk. Okay. So we
Yeah.
went over few of them. We went, I think, up to 5, correct, column? I think we went up
Yeah,
to
I
5.
think we did. Yeah, to 5.
Okay, so small wins counts. Why? Instead of thinking or going for a big win, start thinking of small wins or small term goals. Why it's more important than big term goal?
Because like small ones can be as like a support for like, let's say if you fail once, like you could easily just go back up rather than big
It's
goals,
just
which
like
you
a
can easily
tutorial,
just like,
kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Like going on stairs. So instead of taking a very big step that might
Yeah.
pull
Injure you or
you
something.
down and take you down, yeah, you can take a few steps. So in case of you missed one of these steps, you can go back for it. Okay.
Yeah.
So small wins are the stepping stone to success. Even the biggest accomplishment and victories rest on a series of intertwined small wins. Okay, you can think of any company in the world. They started in small steps.
No one
Okay.
started big,
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. So let's think a huge Tesla, for example. They started, I think, with small robotic cars before they go to the big car. Microsoft also, Bill Gates started like doing some very basic software before he created Microsoft. Okay. Let's go
Yep.
for Amazon. He started from his garage.
Garage, I think. Yeah.
So these are some example of very huge companies nowadays in the world. Okay. So
Yep.
the best bosses frame what they do a series of manageable and doable steps, which leads to better decisions, sustain motivation, and stops people from becoming overwhelmed. Okay.
yeah,
So superstars are not lone geniuses. The lone inventor is a myth. A great innovation happens in a team and network. It's a social process. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to give you an example of Microsoft when they launched Internet Explorer first in the 90s. First time launching and oops. Internet Explorer. There should be tons of article about it. They created it in the 90s. So this is Wikipedia. Okay, in 94 by Thomas Reardon, who according to okay, review of there is a video for it. I remember watching it.
Okay.
So there was like the first evolution for web browsing in the 90s. The four of them saw the first web browser. His last name was Lee. I remember the web browser, the first web browser.
Yeah, I think so.
So Web Wide Web. So the first called World Wide Web after all 90. Okay, only so Nexus Confusion Program Abstract. Berners-Lee. This is the name. Tim Berners-Lee. Okay. This is the first person who created the first web browser. Cutting long story short, long story short, Bill Gates hired like hundreds of people to actually create an update because Bill Gates said that the future. So he in the 90s, Bill Gates said that the future of the world will be the internet. Okay, so this is the first time
Yeah.
people witnessed a web browsing. So most of the people in the world, most population had like no idea what this is. And the only one who had the vision, future for the vision was Bill Gates. That's why he hired a huge team to work on it. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys familiar with the series France? TV shows France? Guys, are you familiar?
No, I'm not familiar with it.
No, I'm not
France?
familiar with it either.
So this is a small, this is in the 90s also, TV show called France. One of the most popular TV show. Let me just stop sharing and reshare it with the voice.
All right, check out this bad boy. 12 megabytes of RAM, 500 megabyte hard drive, built-in spreadsheet capabilities, and a modem that transmits at over 28,000 BPS.
Wow. What are you gonna
Okay, did you read?
Yep.
So, back.
All right, check
12
out
megabytes is good there.
12
Yeah, 12
megabytes of RAM,
megabyte of RAM. So
Yeah.
now we have like, you can insert around more than 32 gigabyte.
500 megabyte
500
hard drive,
megabyte
built-in
hard drive. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think you can work on such computer nowadays?
Microsoft Word has higher space than that.
Yeah.
Literally costs more than 500 megabytes to run Microsoft Word.
Okay, see how the computer just a second.
We'll put their names in bold with different fonts, and I can use different colors for each column.
You see, this is he's making fun of computer. This is,
What
I
are you
think,
gonna
the
use it
first
for?
computer.
Games and stuff. Mitchell and Julie, pros and cons. Oh. We'll put their names in bold with different fonts, and I can use different colors for each column.
You see, this is, I think, the first computer that was used by human, or the first generation of computer.
Yeah.
Okay, so no many people knew how to use the computer. They were like, what this is, okay? What is this? Okay. So it required a lot of people to work on it. This is the main idea. It's not a single person effort. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Blind expert and novices. So expert are people who are who have experience, who knows a lot about the things that they are doing. Novices are people who don't know what can be done or is impossible to do. Okay, as an example, so I'm a teacher in computer science, so I know what I'm doing. I show Column this video. This gorilla was saved by an expert, but before being saved by expert, what happened, Column?
Originally by an expert, basically, if I remember, because like I kind of really remember the video, I guess we were a bunch of novices, I think.
Before calling the expert, what happened?
Yeah, she was, before being an expert, she was a novice, basically.
Yeah,
before she was an expert.
not her. The people in this area were novices. Okay, so
They were novices.
So the local of this village, the locals, the locals did not know what to do, okay?
What to do? Yeah, they were
So
inexperienced.
they
So
called
they brought an expert.
They called an expert and she saved the chimp. Okay?
Yeah.
So this is
Yep.
what we mean by novices and the expert. Both are important, of course, because sometimes novices can guide the expert or they can tell them what the problem is. Okay?
Okay.
This is also a tip for you. There is later on when you go in the field, let's say you are the expert person and you want to tackle, let's say you want to fix a computer problem in a company in at the customer place. Okay, place. Okay. So do you think first question?
Yeah.
Do you think the customer? Do you think the customer will know how to explain the problem?
You should have a mindset that not always.
Most, believe me, in most cases, no. Okay, because I've
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
there. I worked as an IT, and in most cases, the customer will try to blame the company or the IT, or they will not even know what happened to the computer. Okay, so how you can help the customer to walk through the problem, to walk you through the problem? There are two type of questions: open-ended and close-ended. Do you know the difference between both?
Not really.
Okay, close-ended questions are requires answer by yes or no.
Okay.
Okay, open-ended question can go for
So open-ended.
Okay, I see.
answers. Okay, so let me ask you this question. Let's say Amir doesn't know anything about computer and his computer went off. So I'm the IT one. I'm going to ask Amir what happened, why the computer went off. What your answer will be?
The answer will be open-ended, so like you can actually explain like
Yeah.
what's actually going on. But if it's like
Exactly.
someone who is like an expert we're talking about, we can just simply say like yes or no.
No, no. We're still talking about someone who's not expert, okay?
Yeah, I know, but like
The
I'm just saying this on
open-ended
the sake.
question might go for a very long answer and we might not get any information out of it. Instead, we can use the close-ended question. For example, are you sure your, for example, power was on? Okay. So this is require yes or no answer. Are you sure the
Yeah.
UPS was on? Okay. So this is requires a yes and no. Do you think you have the power cable plugged properly? This is a yes or no answer. You see, this is up to the expert to guide the conversation here. And he or she, the
Alright.
Yeah.
expert, can claim the most important information and they can reach a better conclusion like this. Okay. Because
So basically go with close-ended most of the
yeah,
time.
it's much better
Okay.
if you want to go for technical issues.
Alright.
Okay, if you want to know more about the customers, how they are treating their computer, living with their computer, you can go for open-ended. Okay, but this will take you a lot of time
Okay.
because some people just love to talk. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, build stable and small teams. So let's say you have companies that have 1,000 team. What you will do with the 1,000 team, 1,000 person?
Basically, we'll just divide them into smaller teams.
Let's say 100, it's smaller. Exactly. So we divide them into smaller,
Like 5 groups, 20 people
teams.
each.
Even less can be good. Okay, so
Yeah,
for
10
example,
groups,
5
people
groups,
each.
5 times 20, so 20 each.
Yeah.
This is much better than having 101 group. Why?
It's more manageable.
More
less
manageable.
crowded.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
easier to
one.
manage.
So easy to manage. 1, 2,
Less crowded in general.
less crowded. This is crowded.
There can be less discourse.
Less discourse, less conflict, let's say.
Yeah, less
okay?
drama, less
Less
fighting. Yeah.
conflict. Okay. So if a group of 100 person had a conflict, do you think they will ever reach
No.
Like
an
if 100 people all
understanding?
together, then no. Then it'll be very hard.
It's much harder than having a conflict between 20 person. Okay. Because one problem between 100 person can become different problem. Very.
Yeah.
Okay. So they can like fight together. They might fight together. They can like hurt together each other. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
So Hackman's law. My rule of thumb is that no work team should have member in double digits. Okay. Double digits means 10 and above.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the number of performance problem a team encounter increases exponentially as the team size increases. Exponentially, do you know what's an exponent? This is
Like greatly increases.
This is I'm going to show you a graph of exponential
Okay.
increasing. So you can get it. So you see, it starts small. It start to grow step by step. Okay. So you see, let's say we have here 10 people. So we start having problem. Let's say here we have 20. So the problem start to get much more complicated. Let's say here we have 30%. Let's say here we have 50%. Now we have so many problems. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what we mean exponentially increasing, which means the problem will be much more if the team is bigger. Okay. So Apple Gospel says also consciously try to behave like a startup, most notably putting small teams in a crucial project. To wit, just 2 engineers wrote the code of converting Apple Safari browser for iPad, a massive undertaking. Okay, so this is I put a question mark here last time. Do you know why?
Why is that?
First, you all are familiar with Safari, correct?
Yeah.
Yep. The browser.
Definitely.
Okay, so imagine only we have two engineering trying to make Safari work on iPad. So first of all, it wasn't working on iPad. So this 2 person had to do all the work that tons of engineers, hundred of engineering did in the previous years. Do you think this makes sense?
No, because like previously when
really.
they constructed Safari, they had like tons of engineers, but in this case, there's only 2.
Yeah, so this
work
is
on
like,
it.
so it depends on the situation. Okay, so you can hire 2 engineering at the top project, but still you need to give them some assistance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is one way to solve this issue. And it depends on the company. Sometimes the company hire less people to decrease the dépenses, we call dépenses in French, we call it المصروف, allowance, okay?
Yeah.
Of the company. So wisdom. The best bosses dance on the edge of overconfidence. Okay, but a healthy dose of self-doubt and humility and saves from turning arrogant and big-headed. So the attitude of wisdom, the courage to act or what you know is in concert with the humility to doubt your assumption and action. What did you understand from this?
basically we shouldn't be like over into ourselves and think like,
Yeah.
oh, we can do this, we can do that. Like,
Yeah,
be
exactly.
overconfident.
So don't be arrogant, don't be big-headed. Okay. So if you know anything better than anyone else, it's fine to listen to people around you. You might be interested in their ideas. They might be encouraged to give more effort for the job. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
So this is where we stopped last time. Now, so I think it is very important for you to do two things: act on your temporary conviction as if it was a real conviction, and when you realize that you are wrong, correct course very quickly. So investment decision or personal decision and prioritization, don't wait for the picture to be clarified. This is nice. You take your shot and clean up the bad ones later. This is very nice quote. So basically decisions, don't wait for the picture to be clarified. Okay, so you take the shot and clean up the bad ones later. Okay, so let's take, for example, let's make a scenario. Your company is facing a huge economic issue. What you would do? Prioritize first.
Prioritize investing.
Look, so bring the closest investor that you can get.
Yeah,
Okay.
just in case.
Fix the issue. Let's say we had like a money problem, so we can put in the bank the amount of money that we owe. Then later on we can get to know this investor and see if they can fit in the company or not, or we can see if we can offer them a deal. And this is how we can like deal
Negotiate, basically.
negotiate. Yeah. Okay, but the most important step is to save the company from the crash. Okay, maybe this was not like straightforward an example, but you got the idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
So the most important to avoid the crash, for example, then later on we can deal with the small details or the bad decisions. Okay.
Okay.
Because if you wait for more time, what will happen?
The company will crash.
Yeah, exactly. We
Due to
collapse.
problem being solved.
No, this is where we stopped, but we did not discuss it.
Okay.
So let's discuss it. So this is similar to the design thinking process in different way. Okay.
Okay.
So this is called first the design model, yeah, for ideas. We will be practicing this next week. So first thing first, we discover. Discovering means we need to. So we're talking business wise here. So we need to know who are our customers. Okay, this is very important. Understanding, knowledge, experience. This is about the team. The vision, belief. So what do we think our company, the future of our company? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is most likely a paperwork, a research work. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
So defining it's, so let's go from here. Let's see the question. So visualize the entire customer journey. Do we have shared vision on a critical few unmet needs for our design principle? Do we have measurable delight goals? Okay, so be open, focus on deep understanding. So we take everything that we got from here, the research, the conclusions, and then we narrow down the conclusion into more specific details. Okay, so with measurable delights goal. Okay, so now we have, like, for example, a road that we can actually take. Okay, here we're still talking in very general. So this is a general.
Yeah.
Okay, here we start to be specific. Okay. So design and I think exactly delivery. So design is basically where we build the prototype and we test it. So the hypothesis is the prototype. So in a business, there is something called the business model and a prediction. So let's say I started a new business. Let's talk about Aswaq Lebanon a bit. So I had a vision that this website and this year will have sales above, for example, 50,000 bucks. Okay. So this is a hypothesis,
Yeah.
a vision for the future or a prediction or a hypothesis. So based on what I made this prediction, based on the conclusion. So let's say this is not the first year. This is my fourth year. So I created my hypothesis based on the third, second, and first year. Okay. So do you think this prediction can be 100% accurate?
Maybe.
Column.
It really depends, to be honest. Like, probably not 100%, but it could be close enough.
It should be close enough. Okay. So we're talking
Yeah.
in the more
Like an estimate.
yeah, we're talking in the normal circumstances. Okay. So but it's still a prediction. So how good this prediction is depends on how good the hypothesis is. So if the hypotheses are bad, meaning the prediction, the percentage of our prediction will be less to work. Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
still talking on the normal circumstances. So this year, for example, I had a high vision for Aswaq Lebanon, but the economic crisis made everything collapse, break down. Okay. So evaluate before going and releasing the product. Okay. So you cannot, for example, if
Yeah.
you have a new website, let's say you created a new website, don't go and so I'm going to don't launch it right away. Okay. So first check if the website is working, if the website is working with the minimum errors. Okay, because you will still have errors. So this is a software engineering issue. Okay, so then try to show your website to your friend, to show your website to your friends and people around you. Okay. Get more feedback. Okay. So this is how
Beta
you
testers.
what?
You can try get people to test the website for you.
Yeah, this is a later on step.
Yeah.
So this is a real life step, we call it. Okay. So get more, this is how we evaluate. Okay. So what we mean by evaluating over and over before we going to the final step, which is releasing our product for the public. Okay. So imagine we release the product right away without testing it. What happens? I already gave you the example of G7 Samsung, correct? The battery,
Yeah.
the phone blowing. Okay, so this is a disaster solution, disaster outcome. Okay, disastrous, and big loss of money. Okay, this is why the most important step here is to test and evaluate the results before going to the actual or before releasing the actual product. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stop here today. Next time we will practice this design model. We'll try to bring some real life example and fill in or make exercises about it. Okay. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Stay safe and say hello to Alex and Aline.
Okay. Bye bye,
Yep.
sir.
Goodbye.
Bye, sir.